You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.
And so, goodbye. And good night. Bang! Settle!
Because I'm better than you, and you know it. Yes, man! But the Rock is cooking.
Now welcome to Off the Mats with Alex Lowe's and Josh Silverberg.
All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome back after a 1-week hiatus to Off the Mat here every Saturday at 12 p.m. on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. And if you don't know it by now, there are a billion ways you can check us out. You can ask your smart speakers to play us. You can check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook Live, Instagram, Periscope. And, of course, you could download our free app. If you have an iPhone, go to the Apple Store. Just type in WWSRN. And if you have an Android, go to Google Play Store. Go to the Google Play Store and type in WWSRN. So many great programs, so many great shows every week on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Josh Silverberg with you here in very sunny New York. My tag team partner, as always, he's down south in Florida. He's feeling better this week. Very nervous, but he's feeling better this week. Mr. Alex Slows. What's happening, man?
Nothing much. It's been a great week again for professional wrestling. I cannot wait to talk about Summer Struggle. A lot of great matches happened for that event. It's going to be a great show, so stick with us.
Absolutely. You're going to want to stick with us. We have so much to get to, from this week in pro wrestling to our top 5 singles competitors in the wrestling industry today. Again, Alex, really quick, what is the phone number that they can reach us at if they want to have a call-in?
727-888-4295.
And you can always message us as well on Facebook Live, on the app, or whatever. You can email us too. I believe it's offthemat@gmail.com. Is that correct, Alex?
Offthemat44@gmail.com.
There you go. So we will get your calls in. We will get your emails in. Whatever you feel you need to do, we're here. So let's get right into it. Alex, we are on the road right now to where they are going to have their big show outdoors for New Japan. And the Summer Struggle Road has already begun. We've already seen 2 matches that have already been discussed. But not even that, Alex. You had, really quickly, we had 2 big stories, I believe, pop up this morning. There is now going to be a tournament for the 6-man tag team belts. So LIJ has officially relinquished those due to Evil joining Bullet Club, and they're going to have a New Japan Cup in the United States. So some of those guys are going to be competing. Let me just pull it up really quick while I'm pulling it up. Alex, what are your thoughts on both of those ideas happening?
I think these ideas are great. I'm excited about New Japan having a tournament for the New Japan Cup in the USA. I can personally see either Kenta or Carl Fredericks taking the win in that tournament for sure.
I'm excited because, Alex, you know me, I'm a Ring of Honor guy. I'm very, very excited to see what Brody King does. Brody King is slowly becoming a top superstar in Ring of Honor. We all know where he is. He's in Villain Enterprises with Marty Scurll, Flip Gordon, and PCO. So I'm curious where they go with that. Of course, you have Tama Tonga Loa in it. As you mentioned, another one, Alex, Carl Fredericks. That's another good one. I think it's going to be very tough for him to go up against Kenta. I expect it to be an amazing, unbelievable match. Don't forget, there's a sleeper in this one, Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb is a guy that the last few months has really put his name on the map. Ring of Honor. I got to see him for the first time last year at the G1 Supercard show at Madison Square Garden against Will Ospreay to kick off the show, and he won the match, which I was so peeved about. But nevertheless, any British wrestler that I root for always loses when I'm there in person, so it really doesn't matter because Pete Dunne lost the night before at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, so it doesn't even really matter. But he's one that really impresses. I like the idea, and I like the idea of the never openweight 6-man belts. I like that idea because, look, LIJ cannot defend it anymore due to Evil leaving. I think the idea is definitely an interesting one. It's out there. You see some of the teams, and there's 2 Chaos teams as well in it. So that should be interesting as well. And they're on opposite sides of the bracket. So I'm excited to see that for sure. Alex, what are your thoughts on the never openweight 6-man belts?
So I think for the never openweight 6-man belts, I honestly could see someone from Chaos advancing a little bit in that tournament. I actually didn't see who is on the card for Chaos, who's on either side bracket.
Okay, so the 2 teams for Chaos, you want me to just tell you the Chaos teams, right?
Yeah.
So the 2 Chaos teams are Toru Yano, Okada, and Sho. And then the other Chaos team is Hiroki Goto, what's his name? Ishii, Tomohiro Ishii, and Yoshihashi.
So, out of all those people you just named, the one side of the bracket, I think Sho's going to advance, and then I could see Hiroki Goto advancing a little bit, but not too far.
Teams you're saying. For their teams, you're saying?
For the teams. Okay,
so I'll tell you the New Japan bracket quick. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
For the U.S. Cup. Carl Fredericks will face Kenta. Jeff Cobb's going to face Tonga Loa. And then this will be interesting. Dave Finlay's going up against Chase Owens. That one I'm really not that excited about. I'm not a big Chase Owens fan, and Dave Finlay is okay. He's better with Juice Robinson when I do Finn Juice. And then you got Brody King versus Tama Tonga. So that's the bracket for the US one. And then for the here we go, Alex. I'll name it to you the never open weight 6-man tag team belts. You got Yano, Okada, and Sho versus Bullet Club Jado, Yujiro Takahashi, and Gedo. And Gedo. You have Sanada, Shingo Takagi, and Bushi going up against El Desperado, Minoru Suzuki, and Doki. Then you have Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Master Wato. So that's an interesting tag team. I really like that tag team. And they're going to go up in the first round against Zack Sabre Jr., Taichi, and Kanemaru. So that rivalry is going to continue.
Yeah, that rivalry is going to be huge. And I could see Suzuki-gun advancing in that rivalry.
Because I like Ibushi and Tanahashi and Master Wato. I like the 3 of them if they want it together.
And I only say that because if you've been watching Summer Struggle and their matches for the past couple weeks, Suzuki-gun has been on top. They have been working very well as a team. They have been just really breaking down these other teams and really focusing in on the direction they want to go as a team and how they want to persevere. So it's really good to see Suzuki-gun picking up wins. But they are not the only ones stacking up wins. We also have the Bullet Club stacking up wins in the Summer Struggle show.
They got Jado, Yujiro Takahashi, and Gedo going. And then the last matchup, you have Hanma, Makabe, and Taguchi going up against Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi. So that's a tournament right there. I'm more excited about the USA Cup. I'm not going to lie. I'm intrigued by a lot of those matchups. I would love to see Jeff Cobb against Carl Fredericks again. They had a great match a few weeks ago. But let's get into it, Alex. The Summer Struggle stuff. 2 matches have been announced. Evil's going up against Tetsuya Naito again for the double gold. And then you're going to have the
Taiji Ishimori against Hiromu Takahashi for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight belt.
Very exciting. I love it. What are your thoughts on those matches, Alex?
I believe Evil's going to defeat Naito. Evil's going to retain his titles, but I feel like Naito, he's going to be more aware this time than the previous time he faced Evil, because the last time he took on Evil, he was distracted on the outside by his manager, I forget his Dick Togo. Yeah, Dick Togo. He was distracted by him on the outside, which ultimately cost him the match and really broke his concentration and really just broke his momentum throughout that whole main event match. But this time I could see Naito focusing on Dick Togo, trying to focus in on Dick Togo and Evil at the same time, which is going to be difficult, but I think he's going to try and pull through as best as he can.
I think that match is going to be stacked. I could definitely see Naito winning it back. Thus the payoff happening. I'm very excited to see Hiromu going up against Taiji Ishimori, which I think if Hiromu did not get hurt last year with his neck injury, I easily could have seen that being the G1 Supercard match at the Garden, which I can't wait for Wrestle Dynasty to get here next year. My co-host Lyle Gillen and I, who we do Takedown Breakdown with every Sunday night on YouTube and on 90.3 FM WHPC, Monday nights at 11. We were there at the show last year, and we're going to be going to Wrestle Dynasty next year. See, Alex, that means you had to fly in from Florida to New York then to go. I think you might need to make that trip possibly.
Definitely. I need to make that trip. I've never been to a Wrestle Dynasty show, and I'd like to go to one because I hear they're really good.
It would be the first one.
First one? Oh, okay.
This would be the first one, and it's not even about that. It's more so going to a wrestling show at Madison Square Garden. I don't think you've ever done that before.
No, never. So that would be.
I've been to a couple.
Huge.
I've been to WrestleMania 20. I've been to the G1 Supercard show. It's a very different feel when you walk into the Garden and you get to see a show like that. It's different. The G1 Supercard show was the best show last year at WrestleMania weekend. And like we did it up last year, Lana. We went to TakeOver New York Friday night. Then we did G1 Saturday. Then we did WrestleMania Sunday. Then we did Raw on Monday. So we did everything last year. So G1 was the best one. It was the most fun. Just to see the Bullet Club theme at Madison Square Garden was just a crazy vibe because you never thought you'd see that. Speaking of NXT, really quickly representing Shinsuke Nakamura when he was cool in NXT today on my shirt. That was when he was awesome. Strong Style has arrived. You got your purveyor of violence, Jon Moxley. Alex just owns an entire wardrobe of Jon Moxley shirts.
I more likely just have Bullet Club, this shirt, and then the American Nightmare shirt.
There you go. We got to expand that wardrobe for you, sir.
We definitely do. But back to the topic at hand about the second match, the Hiromu facing Ishimori to defend his IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. I think it's going to be a close one because we saw that Hiromu Takahashi's shoulder is kind of injured, and that's going to be a target for Ishimori. Ishimori's going to try and really expose that shoulder and really go to work on that upper shoulder of Hiromu, and then just try to break him down throughout that whole match. And Hiromu has to be ready and focused at all times and be prepared for that. And I think he will be because he's a very strong individual in the ring. He's a great competitor. He knows where he is at all times. So I think he'll be able to measure up with Ishimori in this match.
Absolutely. I'm curious to see where the story goes, where it all leads to. It's a long road, and I think there's going to be other matches you'll see. I think we kind of know what the tag team match is going to be with Suzuki-gun versus Tanahashi and Ibushi. But I think the cool idea is that they're doing it outdoors. I think it's a nice idea. And most, maybe the travel restrictions will be lifted in some capacity. I don't think they will be at any point, but maybe they will now expand the card. But we'll see. Look, I'm excited for how this is going to go. I'm really excited for Hiromu against Taiji Ishimori. I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be a match that really sticks out. I think the junior heavyweight division in New Japan is thriving. They did probably just lose they did probably just lose Will Ospreay in the division. So that doesn't really help matters. But then again, if you could get a guy like Master Watu in the division as well, which I think he fits perfectly in. I think it works. I think it thrives, and I think it belongs there. But, we'll see how it goes. We'll see where it lands. I like the Summer Struggles road to it so far. I just like they did the outdoor baseball stadium. I think that's really cool. Any outdoor shows that they do, I think, is really awesome. So, what do you think about that, Alex?
Outdoor shows are great, especially with what we have going on now with the virus and COVID-19. So I think it's going to work out well for New Japan to have that show outdoors, and it's going to be a great atmosphere for the fans, and I think the fans are going to love it, and I think they're going to enjoy the show and how it's put together.
For sure. I think it's exciting. I think it's fun, and I think it's different. And, you've heard some rumors about what SummerSlam is going to do. SummerSlam, I've heard, has been trying to do an outdoor show. They've even thought about doing it on a cruise ship. So that would be interesting. That would be outside the box, and that would be something I think, with the way that, everything is and with COVID-19. I mean, look, the reports are when you're outdoors, it's you can't get the virus as much. So that could be the way some shows maybe go for SummerSlam and stuff like that. We'll see. Maybe AEW, because AEW is also partially with Dynamite, partially is outdoors. Mm-hmm. So, but let's get to our next topic. Speaking of AEW, we're going to recap AEW and NXT right now. And I thought both shows were good. Both shows had over 700,000 viewers. I still think both shows are missing something. Alex, I know Matt Cardona debuted. Wasn't really that excited about it, honestly. I'm not the biggest Zack Ryder fan, per se. But, I mean, look, I think Matt Cardona's a good superstar. My only concern is I feel like Cody is signing too many of his close friends and everything like that. I was very happy, by the way. Congratulations to Eddie Kingston. Congratulations to Eddie Kingston.
Definitely. Congratulations
well
to him.
Deserved. And I saw you liked my tweet, Alex. You liked the tweet idea that I had from when he was in Impact with Santana and Ortiz reforming LAX. So what were your thoughts on AEW pretty much this week?
So AEW this week was great. I gave it a 8 out of 10 for the performances, and then seeing the Dark Order adapt more in their matches and really work well as a team and really get better, develop in match development. And we saw a lot of that this week from the Dark Order. And then I liked Hikaru Shida's match. That was a great match. It was a very good one. It was fun to watch. It was enjoyable. And she did a great job. And then we had the main event, the Tornado Tag Team match. That was fun and very enjoyable to me because there was a lot going on the outside and even in the ring.
Yes.
And
poor Ricky Starks.
Yeah, poor Ricky Starks in his back, man.
Yeah, man, hey, we're gonna sign you, but one of your first big matches, we're gonna give thumbtacks and put it on your back. It's kind of...
But I was saying that match was very fun to watch. I like how with the main event that they gave us a sneak peek into next week's AEW Championship match, and Darby Allin's going to go up against Jon Moxley.
See, I wasn't a fan of it because I'll be honest with you, Alex, there was no build.
I agree with you. There kind of was no build there. They didn't really give us a big build up towards this match. They didn't really show us what it was going to be like, what Moxley thinks about going up against Darby, what Darby thinks about going up against Moxley. They didn't show us any of that. No promos, nothing towards that.
Thrown together.
Huh?
It was just thrown together.
Yeah, it was just thrown together. And
yeah,
I think AEW needs to build more credibility with their promos working towards big matches like that they can't just throw something together because that really doesn't work. It really doesn't really grab much attention for the fans.
I'm with you 100%. It didn't make much sense to me when they just throw something like that together. I did like the MJF stuff.
Yeah, MJF, he was great. His promo was just his promos every week are 100%, man. I don't know how he does it, but he really breaks it down.
Alex, I'm ready for him to I am ready for him to be the AEW Heavyweight Champion. I'm ready. I think it's time for him. He's earned it. I think he's ready to do it. I think he's ready to take the reins of this situation, pretty much in the sense that I think he would thrive. I think he's a guy you need to look at and you need to say, okay, this guy can cut promos, this guy can do this guy can do that. I think it's phenomenal. And to be honest with you, Alex, I also don't know who the Four Horsemen leader is going to be yet.
No,
I mean, Hangman's hanging out with FTR. Cody's doing his thing. Maybe they swerve us and it's MJF. Maybe I don't know. You know, I mean, and that's the cool thing. I was not so the Matt Cardona contract. It's a 5-match contract. He gets 5 matches. My guess is they will probably sign him afterwards to something. They sign Eddie Kingston this week. I'm hoping they sign Warhorse too.
Yeah, that match was great. Seeing Cody go up against Warhorse defending his TNT championship. I thought that match was very, very well. It was very well scouted and very fun to watch. And
he needs to be signed.
Huh? Sorry.
That's okay. He needs to be signed.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Warhorse definitely needs to be signed because he showed that he can hang with the likes of Cody and big names in this industry in AEW. And I like what Warhorse did throughout that match. He was grounding Cody a lot, really showing how he could work around with submissions and top rope maneuvers and working outside the ring and going above the ring. I never seen anybody I never seen anybody like Warhorse go quickly into moves like that. Because sometimes it takes wrestlers about 2 to 3 seconds to actually get into the position they need to be in to deliver and make their mark in the in matches like this.
Absolutely, for sure. I think when you look at how his entrance, first off, his entrance was awesome. He gravitates to obviously there were no fans there, but the wrestlers. His character is awesome. He's cool. He could cut a promo. I think that's one that AEW definitely cannot miss the boat on. I think they need to sign him and they need to snatch him up quick. I'm not happy about the women's tag team tournament. I don't think there are enough women in the division to have a tag team tournament. I think it's a stupid idea. I think now you're getting Cameron from the Funkadactyls wrestling for them now with Nyla Rose. I'm just like, who's running this division? The report is Brandy Rhodes is running this division now over Kenny Omega. That doesn't make it any better. So I'm curious. I'm interested to see. So let's get into NXT really quick, and then we'll get our recap of what show we thought was better. I actually like what NXT is doing the last few weeks. Well, first off, we saw the reunion of the Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly back. That was cool. They attached Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel of Imperium for the NXT Tag Team Championships. So they really didn't get to have a finish with the Worlds Collide match, which was awesome when Imperium faced the Undisputed Era. But I like the idea for the ladder match of the North American Championship because what they're doing, Alex, is they are taking guys that are underutilized mid-card guys such as Bronson Reed and now Dexter Lumis, and putting them in the in the ladder match, instead of guys like Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano and Roderick Strong, who we've seen do it all, done that, did everything. And they're actually now giving guys opportunities in this ladder match, like a Bronson Reed and a Dexter Lumis. I love the idea. I think it's great. I don't need to see Roderick Strong, Finn Balor, or Johnny Gargano in the ladder match again. Listen, I love them. They're great characters. They're great wrestlers. They've won this already. Let's get some new fresh blood in here. Let's get some new.
I agree with you.
Utilize and let's expand the roster. I think NXT desperately needs to expand the roster. Perfect. Your thoughts, Alex?
So far, they've done a great job of doing that, expanding the roster and really allowing these mid-card, undercard stars to really grow and shine and really show that they can perform to a huge level and really, really connect with the NXT universe on a personal note. And I believe there's going to be 2 more entrants in this ladder match because there's 2 more openings for the North American Championship ladder match. I think it's going to be Damian Priest and then Cameron Grimes. Those 2, I think, are going to be entered in the ladder match.
And I like that idea by you, Alex. Damian Priest has been in a couple of big matches, so even if he doesn't win it, it's no skin off my bones. But Cameron Grimes was a very big character in Impact. He was I believe the X Division champion in Impact when Shane Helms was his manager. Again, they need to expand the roster. That's what so many wrestling companies. That's what NXT needs to do. They need to get some fresh blood in here for this North American Championship and build it up into an opportunity for guys that are not being utilized as much. Bronson Reed has drastically improved, and Dexter Lumis is awesome.
Yeah, he's been stacking up a lot of wins against the Undisputed Era and a couple more big names in NXT. So I think this is his moment to really show the NXT universe what he's made of and what he can do. And I think we're going to see a lot of crazy sides of Dexter Lumis that we've never seen before in this ladder match.
Absolutely, and I'm curious to see where they go with it. I'm excited about it because I think there's so many different roads you can go to. Really quick, are you liking the Karrion Kross Keith Lee build-up right now for NXT TakeOver 30?
I love it. I love how they are putting the story together, how they're building it up slowly each and every week. And I like how they allowed Keith Lee to express himself on the mic more. They gave Keith Lee more time to show how much mic work he can put in his promos. And that's something I've never seen that much of mic work from Keith Lee. So that surprised me. I thought that was pretty cool to see. And I think Karrion Kross, I think he's not playing around against Keith Lee. He said, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. And he gave Keith Lee 2 options. So I think that Keith Lee is not going to go with either option, and he's going to do something that's really going to swerve Karrion Kross and knock him off balance and off his focus.
I like the build-up for the matches. I'm also excited to see what Dakota Kai and Io Shirai do. I think they both are deemed for TakeOver 30. So we'll see. We'll see how the build-up is. All right, Alex, let's see before we go to break. What show did you like more this week and why?
So I'm going to say the Yellow Brand, NXT, was the better show this week because it just had a lot more build-up with all their matches. And even the matches with Shotzi Blackheart and Mercedes Martinez, that was a great build-up. The promo before that match was great with Shotzi Blackheart's promo from her Twitter page. That was a great build-up into this match. And then we saw more Mercedes Martinez and the kind of in-ring competitor she is and how ruthless and aggressive she can be in the ring. So I think NXT overall was the number one show this week. And AEW, I think AEW just needs more time to build their stars, even the newer stars that they are bringing in with Cody and with the new stars that Cody and Tony Khan are bringing in.
I you know what, I liked AEW a little bit more, but it wasn't, it was very close. I only like it because I like to see I like seeing Warhorse this week. That was cool. I thought the main event was good. The Chris Jericho stuff is always fun. So We'll see how it goes. But I like the AEW more this week. But I thought both shows were good, and both. I mean, AEW did lose a lot of viewership this week, so that hurts. But that's okay. It is what it is, and we'll see. All right. Before we go to break, please do not forget, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many different platforms you could check us out on. You could check us out by telling your smart speaker to play us. I am not going to do this again because every time I do it, and Alex knows this, Alexa starts talking to me. So I'm not going to, because Alexa's literally right next to me. She didn't say anything. I actually didn't mean to say her name. So you could always tell them to play the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram, Periscope. Check us out on all different platforms. Don't forget to check out our free app. It is free, everybody. Okay? Please do not forget. You could download it on the Apple Store if you have an iPhone. And if you have an Android, just do it on the Google Play Store and just type in WWSRN. We have so many good shows. The Wise Guys, The Morning Boys, the new Jet Podcast show, Below the Mic, Down to the Wire, Cage and MMA. So many. I mean, I don't know if I missed any shows. We got to, and don't forget the Weekend Crunch every Saturday night at 7 p.m. You can check out Errol Marks along with former NFL player Eric Coleman. They do a show. It's called the Weekend Crunch every Saturday at 7 o'clock. So you do not want to miss that. And don't forget to check us out on Off the Mat. Definitely, we got some new shows that are going to be coming our way. So there's so many good programs that you want and you don't want to miss them for sure. All right, Alex, when we come back, we're going to get into our This Week in Wrestling, and I have goosebumps right now because I'm excited for the next conversation, which is our top 5 male singles competitors in the wrestling world today. If you thought Alex and I didn't agree last week, who knows if we're even going to agree this week. And I'll give you a hint on my list. I got 2 of the guys that are right behind me.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Everybody's got a price. Rest in peace.
Welcome back to Off the Mat with Alex Slows and Josh Silverberg.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Off the Mat. I'm Alex Slows here with my co-host Josh Silverberg, and now we're going to get right into This Week in Wrestling History, which is a really interesting one, WCW Thunder from 1994. So this took place, 2000.
I was going to say, I don't think Thunder happened in 94.
No. No, August 1st, 2000 at the Holman Center and in Terre Haute, Indiana. So this was not a pay-per-view, and the attendance is unknown. So we had Lance Storm, the champion, defending his WCW Cruiserweight Championship against Juventud Guerrera. The Wall defeats David Flair. Elix Skipper defeats Billy Kidman. And then we had Sean O'Hare defeated Sean Stasiak. And then Lance Storm, the WCW Hardcore Champion, defeated Norman Smiley. Buff Bagwell defeated Shane Douglas. Mike Awesome defeated Canyon. Lance Storm, the WCW United States champion, defeated Ernest Miller. And then we had Booker T, Brian Adams, Brian Clark, and Sting defeat Jeff Jarrett, the Demon, the Great Muta, and Vampiro in an 8-person tag elimination match.
That literally sounds like the most random, put together, throw them all in there and see where they go main event I've ever heard in my life.
It definitely does. It definitely packs a punch. There's a lot of big names.
There's too much going on in that.
Yeah, there's so much going on in that one.
That sounds. I like that, Alex. The attendance unknown. That might be a good thing for WCW in 2000 because they wanted people to know what their attendance was.
No, but for WCW Thunder, a show taping like that, I bet it had to be at least like 18,000 people.
No way. Not in 2000 for WCW, they're lucky they broke 6,000 people. Lucky. WCW was so bad at that point. Oh man, they were horrible. They remember Alex Vince Russo was running it at that point. So Vince Russo was doing it. It sounds like a promising card when you hear it.
Yeah, it definitely does. But as you said,
when they probably had the match happen.
As you said, WCW was struggling by the early 2000s by a lot.
They were struggling. Probably mid 1998 to the end of 99. I mean to the end of 98. That's when the struggle started happening. I remember it well because I was a WCW fan and I just could not watch the product anymore. It was atrocious. The matches didn't make sense. I mean, one match they literally had was, I think it was Viagra on a pole match. I mean, I was just like, what are we doing? Viagra on a pole. And then they had a good one. They had Judy Bagwell, Beth Bagwell's mom, on a forklift match.
These sound like really absurd matches.
They were. Yeah. This was them trying to do WWE Attitude stuff in a more PG version because TNT would not allow the PG-13 stuff. So that was their biggest problem. Once WWE started showing women in a very more, sexual manner, and they started having the curses with DX and stuff, that was when WWE was like, God, how
do we compete with that? How do we fire back?
Because what do teenage boys like? They like to see women pretty much with nothing on, and they like to see funny jokes and curses. That's what they like. So once that happens, the demographics for WWE rose. I mean, that was just a big thing. Mm-hmm. I was too young. I was probably 7 years old. But I knew what was happening. But, oh, God. That's an interesting one, Alex. I like that one. That one made me laugh at.
It's definitely an interesting card. It has a lot of twists and turns in it.
So you don't feel the Viagra on a pole match?
No, that just sounds really absurd.
Oh, God. Oh, man. All right, Alex. So we've been teasing it. We got it.
The top 5 male singles competitors.
You went first for the tag team one. Do you want me to go first for this one, or do you want to go first for it again?
I can go first again.
Okay, you could go first again because that's what Mr. Slows wants. He wants to save the best for last. I got it. It's cool.
So number 1 on my list is the current AEW World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley, because he has a really great reign so far. I believe it was past 170 from last time I saw on TV.
He won the belt at, I believe it was Revolution.
So I believe we're getting past the 160, 170 mark as the AEW World Heavyweight Champion for Jon Moxley. And he's done a fantastic job as the champion. He's really showing each and every week that he can hang with big guys like Brian Cage, who he went up against at the Fight for the Fallen pay-per-view. And that was a good match, and it was one of those matches where Moxley was at his finest. He really knew where to break down Brian Cage, and he focused in on the surgically repaired arm and really just went to work on that arm, and that's what caused Taz to throw the towel. So that's why I have Moxley at number 1, because he's a hard-hitting fighter. He has a never-say-die attitude. He never backs down from anything. And he's willing to go to unbelievable limits to prove his point and to really show why he's the best AEW World Heavyweight Champion we have in the industry right now. And number 2 on my list is Cody, the current TNT champion. He's doing a fantastic job so far. I think the record was 15, 16, and 1 as the champion, and he's been doing a great job showing how much he can perform, even against people he's never been in the ring with. And we've seen him go up against Ricky Starks so far, Warhorse, and a bunch of other big names in the professional wrestling industry. So I think Cody's doing a great job, and I definitely see him doing more open challenges down the road. But I believe pretty soon the open challenge is going to get overwhelming for him, and then he's probably going to drop the title. So I could see it lasting a little bit longer, maybe a couple more months, 2 to 3 months with this open challenge, and then I feel like he'll lose the title. Number 3 on my list is Dexter Lumis, who has done an amazing job as a singles competitor in NXT. We've seen him go against Roderick Strong. We've seen him go against Kyle O'Reilly and members of the Undisputed Era, and even Bronson Reed and other names in NXT that we've seen him compete against. And I love his character and how he just performs on a massive level. He really takes his time with his opponents, and you can clearly see that in the ring. He waits for the opportune moment to break his opponent's concentration, and then he goes right in. Then he goes in for the kill, and then really just starts breaking down his opponent in these matches. And Dexter Lumis has really done a great job of that, and really done very well as a performer. And I can see him doing some amazing stuff in this ladder match, which we talked about earlier. I think he is going to put on a spectacular performance. Number 4 on my list is the King of Darkness, Evil, the current IWGP Intercontinental Champion and IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He's done an amazing job filling the void as the leader of the Bullet Club right now. And I think that's taking Bullet Club to new heights. We are seeing more and more of what the Bullet Club can do with Yujiro Takahashi, Taiji Ishimori, Gato, and Jado, and a few other members in Bullet Club. We are seeing how much more the Bullet Club can go, and how far they are willing to go as a team, and how much they perform on a spectacular level. And they've done a great job. But the Bullet Club, this is why the Bullet Club is my favorite team in New Japan Pro Wrestling, because they just do such a great job. And Evil is definitely somebody I did not expect earlier in the year to turn things around as a singles competitor. Because at the beginning of the New Japan, after New Japan came out of the pandemic and everything, with running their shows and getting their shows back on track, at first it seemed like Evil was still going to be just part of LIJ, and there wasn't going to be really much going on with him, and we weren't going to see much of him in his title defenses. But now I think New Japan is doing a better job with him, and Evil is working very well with New Japan to really show a different side of himself that nobody's seen before. And we're seeing a lot of that from Evil, and how much he's grown and adapted in the ring so far. And number 5 on my list from LIJ is Bushi. And Bushi, he still needs a bit more work as a competitor in LIJ. And I think the best way to do that is to give Bushi a title opportunity down the road. Give him something that he can push himself towards and really show the New Japan Pro Wrestling universe that he is a very skilled performer, and that can go up against people like Evil and really put on a hell of a match in a physical environment, because we haven't seen much of Bushi in physical matches, and I want to see more of Bushi in physical enduring matches. And I think it can be done. I definitely think it can be done down the road.
All right, Alex. So you did not have a single person on my list that was in your top 5. But your list is interesting, that's for sure. It's definitely interesting. It seems like you went more with the what have you done for me lately than the historical aspect of it, for sure. Your list is definitely a good one. I like it for sure. I like it a lot. But I'm going to go 5 through 1. For me, I'll start from the bottom and go to the top. All right? Number 5, for me, I have Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole, for me, he is now become the blueprint, the standard of the NXT brand. He is this past year in 2019 was an unbelievable year for him. I mean, look, the guy, some Survivor Series weekend alone that beat Daniel Bryan for the NXT Championship on SmackDown, then wrestled in War Games, then beat Pete Dunne at Survivor Series, then wrestled Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw, and then wrestle AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson Wednesday on NXT. You know, so definitely that was the entire weekend was all about Adam Cole that weekend. So also I didn't even get to mention his accolades: 3-time World Champion in Ring of Honor, former television champion, Ring of Honor World Championship Tournament in 2013. He's won. Let me see, where did NXT stuff go? Why is his NXT stuff not on my list? Oh, here it is. Former NXT champion. He was the inaugural North American champion, and he was the NXT Tag Team Champion. So he's won all 3 championships. He's the second NXT Triple Crown champion in history. He won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic in 2018. He won Feud of the Year with Johnny Gargano in 2019 from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. So Adam Cole for me is number 5. Number 4, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. AJ Styles to me is a guy that has done it all in every company you've asked.
He's seen a lot. He's done a lot too.
Ring of Honor, he did it. TNA, he's done it. NWA, he's done it. WWE, he's done it. New Japan, he's
been
done it.
Everywhere, man.
He's a champion twice in New Japan. He's a 3-time NWA heavyweight champion. He's a former TNA world champion 2 times. He was He won Match of the Year with John Cena at SummerSlam in 2016. He won Tag Team of the Year with Christopher Daniels in 2006. 2017, 2018 was the most popular wrestler of the year. He was the Pro Wrestling Insider's Wrestler of the Decade from 2011 to 2019. He's a former World Tag Team Champion in Ring of Honor with Amazing Red. And he's a 2-time WWE Champion. He's the current Intercontinental Champion. He's a 3-time U.S. Champion. He's done everything and then some in every company he's been. He was also a former WCW wrestler. You can't forget that. So he's done it all. I think he's a guy that still has top-notch matches for sure when you think about it, because that's why The Undertaker, if you look on his special, that is why The Undertaker wanted to wrestle him. So that's number 4. Number 3, I have Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega was the former number 1 guy. I think AEW's kind of brought him down a little bit, but that's okay. He'll get his time, I think, in AEW. He's a former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, former IWGP Intercontinental Champion. He's a Junior Heavyweight Champion with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion twice, IWGP US Champion. So he's pretty much done every single thing in New Japan that you could think of. Also, really underrated, he won the Feud of the Year with Ring of Honor in 2018 against Cody. So they did that. He was Wrestler of the Year in 2017 on Sports Illustrated. You know, AEW, he's the current Tag Team Champion right now. He won Feud of the Year in 2017 from the Wrestling Observer against Kazuchika Okada. He won Most Outstanding Wrestler in 2018. He won Match of the Year back-to-back years from the Wrestling Observer, both against Kazuchika Okada. If you haven't seen this match at Dominion against Okada, the 2 out of 3 falls match, you're missing out. It was an unbelievable match. And then also, he is also a former tag team champion, of course, with Kota Ibushi. He's done everything like that. So Kenny Omega, for me, is so top-notch. He's one of the best in the world. Number 2, a guy that came on the scene huge the last few years, Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is a guy that when you look at it, he was ranked top 10 by Pro Wrestling Illustrated as the top 500 singles wrestlers in 2019. He's a former Ring of Honor World Television Champion. He is killing it in New Japan. He won the Best of the Super Juniors in 2016 and 19. former never openweight champion, and he's won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion 3 times. I expect big things for him when the travel ban is lifted. I expect him to go to the I expect him to go to the heavyweight division. I can't forget he's also the British heavyweight champion. He beat Zack Sabre for that from Revolution Pro Wrestling. He's the current British heavyweight champion. So he's a guy that's getting better and better each time. He does things in the ring that are insane. He is still at a very, very young age of 27. So it's just for him scratching the surface, doing all of that. My number one, because I know we're running close on time and we still got to do our finisher. Number one for me, it was an easy one. It ain't hard to see who it is. That is the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika Okada, ranked number one of the top 500 superstars. He was number one in 2017. He won Match of the Year, as I said, in 2018 and 2017 with Kenny Omega. Feud of the Year in 2017. I'm going to go to his New Japan accolades. He's an IWGP Heavyweight Champion 5 times. He's won the G1 Climax twice in 2012 and 2014. He's won the New Japan Cup twice, 2013 and 2019. He had the best bout in 2017 versus Kenny Omega. Again, CBS Sports gave him Match of the Year with the Kenny Omega. And if you just look at everything he does, the leader of Chaos after Shinsuke Nakamura left, he took over. He was a guy that, look, he is the blueprint and the standard of our professional wrestling yesterday. He could go 60-minute matches, no problem. Easy. How do you say? Easy squeezy lemon, easy peasy lemon squeeze. My wife is saying it right here, so she's saying me easy. She's telling me how to say it. I couldn't say it yesterday either. But if you look at all of his matches, they go to 45, 50 minutes. He was trained by Ultimo Dragon and Yuji Nagata. He's only 32 years old. So it's insane how young he is that he is able to do all this. I think he's the best professional wrestler on the planet today. He main events every big show for New Japan. So, you know, we will see. But that's my list. My list is 5 Adam Cole, 4 AJ Styles, 3 Kenny Omega, 2 Will Ospreay, 1 Kazuchika Okada. And that is my top, Alex.
I like it. I love your list. I think it's great. I think there's a lot you mentioned in it, and there's a lot of accolades for these 1 through 5 competitors that you mentioned, and that's amazing to see. And a lot of these guys have grown. And actually, I forgot to mention this as well. For why I also put Moxley at number 1 is because he also has a bunch of accolades. He has been WWE champion once, Intercontinental Champion 3-time, Raw Tag Team Champion twice, United States Champion 1. He's the 27th Triple Crown Champion, 8th Grand Slam Champion, Money in the Bank 2016 winner, and he's had 5 Slammy Awards. And then WWE Year-End Awards, Best Reunion for 2018 as part of the Shield, and Return of the Year in 2018. And then for me, Cody Rhodes, here's his breakdown. He's Amateur Wrestling Georgia State Tournament champion at 189 pounds in 2003-2004. All Elite Wrestling TNT champion 1 time and current champion. Alpha One Wrestling A1 Tag Team champion 1 time with Ethan Page. Bulletproof Wrestling Bulletproof champion 1 time. CBS Sports put him as Promo of the Year in 2019 for Silver Spoon promo on AEW Dynamite. And then Smack Talker of the Year for 2019. Global Force Wrestling, GFW Next Gen Champion 1 time. NWA World Heavyweight Champion 1 time. IWGP Champion, United States Champion 1 time. New Heavyweight Championship 1 time. Ohio Valley Wrestling, OVW Champion 1 time. OVW Television Champion, and so forth. And then Pro Wrestling Illustrated made it one of his matches, Match of the Year against Dustin Rhodes at Double or Nothing. Most Improved Wrestler of the Year in 2008, and ranked number 8 of the top 500 singles competitors in the PWI 500 in 2018. So
that's cool.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of accolades for sure, Alex. Definitely, that is absolutely a lot. So I guess we'll get to. We are running on low on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get to our finisher, Alex. You want to go first?
Yeah, actually, my finishing move is something really interesting that I saw on the internet the other day. So Vince McMahon is saying, and I talked about this on my solo show, the Evening Bolt, where I said that WWE needs to have a better job at developing their matches for the main roster, Raw and SmackDown, and I saw that Vince McMahon said that he blames all the matches, and he blames creative for what's happening right now with Raw and SmackDown. So I guess you could say me and Vince McMahon are kind of on the same page here for the first time, which hasn't been in I
would never think about that, Alex.
What?
I would never brag about that.
I'm not bragging about that. I'm just saying, it kind of measures up. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm just teasing you. You know that. Yes. For me, my finishing move is, look, I think I need to know who the leader of the Four Horsemen is at some point.
Yeah, we definitely need to figure that out. I want to know who it is.
No, I think at All In we're going to figure it out. All In is when they're going to do it. So we'll see. It's going to be exciting, and I can't wait for sure.
It probably will be somebody that's not even on the roster, or somebody we like.
It's going to be MJF, Cody, or Hangman. I think
it's going to be somebody that they're going to swerve us. It's going to be something unexpected.
No, Alex, that's only the New Japan swerve. Listen, my friend, I'm glad you're feeling better. We were glad to have you back. So much fun today, for sure. Thank you to all the fans out there for listening and letting us your eyes and ears for the last hour. We appreciate it. Don't forget, please tune in every Saturday at 12 p.m. Don't forget my other show. Alex is also other show he does too, the Evening Bolt. He does that, I believe it's on Friday nights, correct, Alex?
Yeah, Thursday or Friday nights, just depending on the time of day.
Forget to check that out, the Evening Bolt. Alex has an awesome podcast in regards to with wrestling and everything. And don't forget my show, Takedown Breakdown with Lyle Gillen. Sunday nights on YouTube, they're posted, and Monday nights at 11 p.m. on WHBC. Don't forget as well, check us out at the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We have so many great things. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, everything. So much happening. And you could also, with the smart speakers, tell them to play us. Get our free app. Download our free app. It's got everything. Our show schedule, our articles. We're putting content out every single day. If you have an iPhone, just download on the Apple Store. And if you have an Android, download on the Google Play Store. Just type in WWSRN. You have the Wise Guys, the Morning Boy with Ryan Hickey, Down to the Wire, Below the Mic, Cajun MMA, the Weekend Crunch with Errol Marks and Eric Coleman. I think I said Wise Guys, right? And of course, Off the Mat. And also, don't forget the New Jet podcast as well. There's so many great shows, so much good stuff out there for everybody and everything. Alex, a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too, man. Have a safe and pleasant weekend, and we'll do this again next weekend.
We certainly will.
Same time, same place.
Exactly. Can't wait. Excited. Everybody enjoy wrestling this week. Take care. Have a good one. You are listening and watching on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.